Labour union Satawu and Untu have threatened strike action at the Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa, Prasa, over a wage dispute. The workers have tabled consolidated wage demands, including a 15% across-the-board wage increase for 2025-26. They've since roped in the CCMA, accusing the employer of negotiating in bad faith. SABC News economic reporter Katlego Legodi joins us now in studio with the latest. Well, welcome.
A very good afternoon to you, Juliet, and of course to our viewers at home.
So what surprises me is that they've left it so long to negotiate for the upcoming year when they knew that the agreement in place would expire at the end of March.
Yeah, most
Is that
definitely.
Unusual?
It's unusual, you know. Really,
or is it mischievous?
In a way, you know, that is what actually the workers are saying, and the labor unions here accusing the employer of really approaching this process in bad faith. Yeah. So from our understanding is that in October last year already, that is when this process should have started in terms of them bargaining, in terms of them negotiating, and in anticipation of the end of March 2025, whereby this 5% offer that was from last year would lapse. So as we speak right now, it has lapsed, and the workers are in limbo because we find ourselves in a new financial year. So they've been pushing to bring the employer to the table. They've actually accused the employer of approaching this process in bad faith because this year already alone, they tried and pushed for a meeting 3 times already without the employer coming through to the party. This saw them approaching the CCMA for just a dispute here. They call this a dispute of mutual interest that they've since lodged with the CCMA for them to come through and try, you know, bring the employer onto the negotiating table for these negotiations to get underway. So as we speak right now, we have 2 unions there at Prasa, this being Untu and Satawu, both of them just tabling a 15% wage offer, coupled with other, non-financial benefits that they would want to kick in. And we see them saying that they are left with no choice but to approach the CCMA to try by all means to help them in bringing the employer to the table.
Can the CCMA get that right? Bringing the employer to the table and fast.
The CCMA these are some of the issues that they would be inundated with. Even the last time we saw the workers at Prasa threatening strike action. This would see the CCMA being roped in here to try by all means to avert that strike action. This would be disastrous for Prasa, looking at the fact that the entity has been trying to pick up the pieces. We know very well that even from back in the years in terms of COVID-19, they've been battered. And they're saying that their facilities have been vandalized. And they're saying at the heart of where we see Prasa now getting this positive accolades and things starting to look up would be the workers. So when you're not actually satisfying the very same people that are supposed to help you in stabilizing the entity, then you're basically working at a loss. So they're saying that the workers need the proper recognition because they are the ones that are at the heart of ensuring that Prasa gets back to profitability, it gets back to a full operation. And they're saying that it's just disheartening that we don't see the employer recognizing that and just trying by all means to even table something, because as we speak right now, Juliet, they're at 0 and the employer is at 0, they're at 15%. So there haven't been an indication that the employer would at least maybe start at 5% or start at 4%. So that is what's confusing to the workers, and they're saying that this is really mischievous from the employers, and hence they've roped in the CCMA. This is a matter that we know will sit on the 10th of April, but they're trying to, meet with the CEO and meet with the Prasa management in between the 10th of April and now to try, reach somewhat of an agreement here before the CCMA and the commissioner can sit in with both parties.
Has Prasa issued any statement on where they stand in terms of these increases?
What we know is that from the workers' end, Prasa has cried bankruptcy. They've said that they don't have money right now. They've literally said that what the employer bring to the table, they can't afford. That the entity is in trying times financially. So some of these things would not actually be feasible. But we see the workers saying that that doesn't fly. It's unacceptable because as there's a budget. So some of these things are budgeted for. As we go into a new financial here, there should be somewhat of a budget in place for the salary increment or wages or consideration of any offer or any increase or whatever the workers may bring to the table. And we haven't seen that coming through from the employer, which is why the workers are saying that the employer is approaching this in bad faith. They'll try to meet with the employer before the 10th of April, but as we speak right now, there's a dispute and it's pointing to a strike action, which would be disastrous for the entity.
Are they going to wait until the 10th of April before they strike?
They are going to have to wait because the CCMA will have to sit down with both parties and try and understand where the impasse is and how they can try and move from there. But the workers saying that they've already gotten an indication from the employer, the CEO. They had actually even wanted to meet with the CEO in person to say that please to converse the CEO to try by all means to bring the negotiators from the entity to meet with the workers. But they're saying that it's indicating that before the 10th of April, there may be somewhat of a meeting with the employer. This would at least give them an indication of how they're approaching this process at the CCMA on the 10th.
Just lastly, just to make 100% certain here, Prasa has not officially said their offer is 0%.
No, they haven't actually said anything.
They just said
right
they don't
now.
have any money.
Yeah.
And they want to just brush it under the carpet.
And that is from the workers' end. But I've reached out to Prasa, just trying to hear from them this afternoon. Hopefully, they'll give us an ear, but just to give us a sense of what their challenges may be so that we don't just, hear the workers' end of the story and also just give them a right of reply looking at all of these issues that have been playing out in the public.
Let's try and get to hear their side. Yeah. Thanks very much chatting to us right now about that possible Prasa and Satawu and Untu strike.